Welcome back to Executive Vision. They're among the most recognizable leaders in healthcare, the heads of our biggest drug makers.
And they're facing growing pressure to provide low-cost medications. So how do they respond to that challenge?
It's classic David versus Goliath. In one corner, the mighty brand-name drug makers, Pfizer, Merck, Novartis, versus anonymous companies who make drugs called generics, copies of brand-name drugs that claim to be equal, and yet are different in one crucial way. They're much cheaper.
Generics on average are about a quarter to a third of the cost of a branded originator product.
Jeff George is CEO of the Swiss company Sandoz, the world's second largest generic drug maker.
When the product is exactly the same, why would you pay more for it?
But are generics and brand names really the same? Some industry experts don't think so. David Maris is a leading pharmaceutical analyst.
The World Health Organization estimates that 20% of all drugs in India are fake. They're counterfeit.
I can really only speak for the standards that we have at Sandoz, which are world-class. We apply the Sandoz quality standard, which is frankly the Novartis quality standard.
The standards for Sandoz are the same as Novartis because they're owned by Novartis. In fact, over the last 5 years, numerous brand name companies have acquired generic drug makers and have even begun making their own generics.
Make no mistake, large pharma would rather have people buy branded drugs than buy generics.
It's better for Sandoz to garner a portion of the value, even if it means that Novartis Pharma is losing out a good amount of sales.
But there's another advantage.
We have a lot more credibility if we're negotiating with a government in an emerging market, and we can offer high-quality, affordable generics as well as innovative branded medicines.
By offering both, Novartis gains entry into inaccessible markets. The result? They help underserved populations, and they help themselves.
If a leading drug company isn't in the emerging markets in a meaningful way, in the next 10 to 20 years, it's going to miss the fastest growth engine in the entire world.
But with global expansion comes not only profits, but problems. Often in emerging markets, there are fewer watchdogs, and some manufacturers take advantage.
There was this study that came out that showed that the water coming out of a group of facilities for pharmaceutical companies in India in this one stream was enough. The antibiotic in the water outflow was enough to treat 90,000 people with antibiotics per day. We can't continue to push drug manufacturing, low-cost drug manufacturing, to overseas, less regulated markets without consequences.
As a result of the influx of generics, pharmaceutical leaders are now faced with formidable challenges, which, if not met, could cause some serious damage to their industry. The questions remain. How do they keep their market from eroding? How do they lower the cost of their drugs but still make a profit? And how do they expand globally but still maintain their standards? For business and for patients, there's a lot at stake. For Executive Vision, I'm Mike Huckney.